Hello, hello! Welcome back to my stream. It is I, your humble host Sketchy, once again. And we are back with Reverse 1999. We'll be streaming the side content for Chapter 6. For the one with Isolde. So, I'm presuming backstory for Isolde and probably for Kakania? That's at least my guess on which backstories it will contain. So, I've already unlocked it. Where was it? Right, here it is. I cannot even begin to try to pronounce it pronounce the name for it. Lukevan Le Stel? Something like that. I think it's French. I may be wrong. It sounds French to me. Alright, so
A painting.
we are getting a
Based on
trailer.
Mysterious island? The host is Isolde, the opera singer?
Oh, poor thing. Every member of that family met a tragic end. And now her brother.
Shh.
Théophile has left us. Behold, my late brother's final painting, inspired by the Golden Isle. The salvation.
Right, we already know
Mr.
that.
Distoff, I know your brother's death has affected you deeply. Doctor, you need to release your oppressions.
The rain.
Please don't.
The Golden Isle. The island of the painting. Is that where the timekeeper is at now?
How did Théophile know about the storm and the island?
He belonged to an organization called the Circle. It's the symbol of the Circle. Are they really just a group of artists?
What do you see in the mirror? I see golden circles. Théophile in the fire. He burned all his paintings. And then I heard a shot.
And now we know who shot. You did.
All these assassinations at the same time?
Will our people be able to defend themselves on that island? To help them is to help ourselves. I can see how you burned with passion. Welcome to the circle, Miss Marcus.
Right, her name
We
was
share
Marcus.
the same
I keep
dream
forgetting
as
it.
you.
I am intrigued by the name of your little group, the Circle.
I bet you are, Kana.
Even if the world ends tomorrow, we still have a show to watch. Please, enjoy.
This trailer was very good because it didn't reveal all that much. Without context, at least. For me, it revealed a lot. Because I already played the chapter itself. And honestly, it just reminded me how much I like the design for Isolde. In motion, it looks even better. Out of all the characters that I've met and interacted with in the game, so far, visually and design-wise, I like Isolde the most. It's the most classy and intricate design that I've encountered so far. At least in my recollection. Right, so we are getting a backstory for Isolde and for Marcus. That checks out. I expected that maybe we would get more backstory on Kakania as well, but that may be contained to some extent in backstory for Isolde. We'll see. We'll be starting with backstory for Isolde. Right. The extremely beautiful girl that is crazy like a bag of rats. Part 1. Dog Door. Weird title for a part. Sad news indeed. Most unfortunate and disappointing news. Stamping his feet in anger, the gentleman lets out a wail of frustration.
I'm not sure that.
They cancelled her new show, just like that. I've been waiting for it all season. What else could be done? Surely you wouldn't expect her to sing after what happened. Have some compassion for her, will you? Fate has dealt her a cruel hand in life. Right, so this is probably happening shortly after her brother ended himself. That's my guess. Although this lady immediately volleys criticism, there is nothing accusatory in the softness of her tone.
I think that...
Vienna has lost its star, at least for this season. Another man joins the conversation, also terribly hit by the news. His eyes are as dim and cold as two lifeless cobblestones at the bottom of a river. He walks at the rear of the crowd with heavy footsteps. I saw it with my own eyes, the entire thing. She left the Vienna State Opera in the afternoon. She must have planned to take a walk in the Dreier's Park, as she always does on Tuesday afternoons. On that day, her dark curly hair cascaded over her shoulders, and her face was pale as porcelain. Isn't she always pale as porcelain? That's basically just her regular complexion. She was in a lavender dress with a soft wool shawl around her arms. She looked pretty fragile, like a doll made of glass.
Which means...
Did you see her? Yes, I saw her faint. She seemed perfectly fine when she took leave of her theater manager, but after a few steps she started shaking. She whimpered and scratched at her pretty face. Her usual heavenly voice became a howling cry of a mad cat. Right. He murmurs with a dark heat in his tone. A light of sinister delight flickers in his eyes. Okay, a weird dude then. He was enjoying the view, apparently. Her servants tried to stop her, but it was too late. She ran off, tripped over her dress, and fell down the Albertina stairs. They helped her up, but by then, she already fainted. Well, if she fell down the stairs, it's not exactly fainting, it's knocking herself unconscious, I'm betting.
That's surprising.
Good in heavens, poor thing. His audience responds with gasps and sobs. All theatrical, all fake, probably. It breaks one's heart to see such a thing. Soon her physician came. He'd been on her side all day. It was only in the brief moment in which that horrid affair occurred that she was away attending to another matter. That he was away, right. Did he take her to the hospital? How is she now? Oh heavens, this is terribly sad. Most unfortunate for a talented lady such as her. She's so delicate. Even a strong gust of wind could whisk her off her feet. And now she has to come to terms with the painful fact that her dear child has been cruelly taken from her. I mean, this seems like a mistranslation. Her dear brother, don't you think? Not a child. The lady whips open her mother-of-pearl fan to hide the tears that are now streaming down her face. Okay. Thank goodness. She still has Theophil. Still, it does little to ease mother's pain. Wait. Okay. Call me surprised, I was wrong. So, this is new information. She was pregnant at some point and lost her child? And Theophil is still alive at this moment? Huh. Okay. We didn't hear about that. So that's another drop in the bucket of her trauma in general. Good to know. So it wasn't just losing her brother that pushed her over the edge. It was just another part of it, seems. I at least don't remember this being mentioned anywhere in the chapter itself. She continues to mutter to herself. Though her cheeks are still wet with the tears of compassion, there's a quiet joy in her heart as she attracts others' gaze. Right. They are just being performative to each other. They don't care, not really. This is basically Twitter before Twitter existed. Or other social media. None of us would ever have the courage to face such tragedy. Having to witness her own child taken by death at the Seance 3 days ago must have destroyed her. We were all there, you know. Lily Marlene, Fiona, and I, that poor girl. Such a lovely thing.
So?
Little Trista. She was only 3 years old.
Ah, interesting. So it wasn't... I expected that she lost her child before giving birth to it, but no. It was a 3-year-old. Okay, interesting. How old is Isolde anyway? 20-something in the chapter that we... when we meet her? That's my guess.
Her rosy cheeks turned greyish-blue within seconds. Her pale lips were stained red with blood, and 2 golden tears welled in her empty eyes and ran down her cheeks. She died in a moment, just like that.
So it was some kind of an accident during a seance that they were having? I mean, it was mentioned in the chapter that the whole family seemed haunted to an extent. She is Isolde's mother? Who is? Oh, wait! So they are not speaking about Isolde here? But about her mother? Is that what you are saying? I was convinced that they were speaking about Isolde for the whole conversation, but I may be wrong. Do they even say the name anywhere? Or just a vague posting about the Star of Vienna? I know that Isolde's mother was the previous great star of the opera. They are talking about her mother. Ah, okay, so there is the confusion. That's why I was confused about this. Thank you for clarifying, because I wouldn't catch up on this for a while, probably. I was completely convinced that they were already talking about Isolde, but no, that makes more sense. So they lost another sibling then, both Isolde and Theophil. A 3-year-old sister then. Does Isolde even exist at this point? How old is Theophil at this juncture? I guess we'll have to wait and find out. Interesting.
But that sweet song didn't fade away. For the whole night, it was trapped in her throat, like a little songbird captive in a cage. It wasn't until morning that we mustered enough strength to touch her. She was still soft, as if she were only sleeping.
Huh. She gently flutters her fan as she reveals more and more details to the crowd. They listen in breathless suspense. Like I was saying, I recall that it was mentioned that her whole family was cursed by their bloodline slash arcane heritage, that they were basically haunted. So this checks out that one of their siblings got taken during a seance. Okay.
I don't know.
I didn't know that. Fine, I admit it. I was too harsh on her. No one would be able to sing on stage in a wake of such misfortune.
I think that...
She should rest. She must be devastated, poor thing, losing her child like that. The gentleman takes out his silk handkerchief and dabs the corner of his moistened eyes. This is a situation in which sympathy is the only appropriate response. Right. But a voice from the other side of the crowd breaks the sad silence.
No way.
No, she didn't cancel the performance to mourn her daughter. Then why did she? Did you forget? She showed up at the rehearsals after her daughter's death. I saw her just yesterday. His face reddens with frustration at these speculations. Her doctor came to that very night with a dissected rabbit in his palms. A quick look made it very clear. His eyes are red and bulging, just like the pair of descended ovaries he saw inside the rabbit. Huh? She's with a child again, 2 months in her pregnancy, in fact. The announcement of a new child just 3 days after her daughter's tragic death. So maybe that's his old. Probably. That would make sense. So Theophil was the older child, I'm guessing? The one that died was the middle child and Isolde was the youngest? The change in the rabbit's ovaries told us everything. I wish I could show you, good people, for its evidence most irrefutable. Right, they mentioned that during that time frame it was a semi-common practice to inject a rabbit with like what? Something from a pregnant woman to find out if she is pregnant depending on the reaction of a rabbit. Was it... I don't remember what, blood or what? They were taking a sample of something from the pregnant woman and injected it into a rabbit to see the reaction, and depending on the reaction they were determining if she was pregnant or not. Right. Okay. Evangeline must rest, no matter how much she loves the stage and her audience. She has no choice. Right. But her falling down the stairs sounds even more of a problem then, if she is pregnant. Huh. She has no choice. And her mother's name was Evangeline. Okay, duly noted. That was her first appearance in Vienna. A fanatic admirer bribed her mother's doctor, subsequently discovering her existence through a fluffy, an oddly bloody pregnancy test. Perhaps soon these rabbit tests will become a mainstream method of determining pregnancy. Well, I know for a fact that it didn't hold. Who knows what will happen in this world of turmoil? Who is it speaking? Someone approaches from behind, the figure of a child. Favored by the gods of Peter, this child is a star, even from before birth. In the many years that followed, before she made her debut, people talked of her as the girl who arrived upon the wings of death.
Is that so?
Whose voice could this be? I'm not recognizing it yet.
But is she really an opera singer?
The voice pauses, awaiting an answer.
Look at her, Isolde, my lovely little sister. She's the new star of Vienna, gaining both fame and fortune in the theater.
So what? This is implying that this is the dead sister speaking, or is this Theophil? Don't know what kind of voice to give this person.
As a singer, her name has surpassed that of our mother, who is now only remembered as the perpetrator of that appalling crime. But my sister has never performed in a play, not even once.
Ooh, cute. Little Isolde.
She's there, but she also isn't. She's many people, including me. My voice in her throat, my smile on her face.
Huh?
Up on the stage, many spirits wander. There are men's voices, women's voices, even children's. You can find them all. Different songs, different stories, but they aren't hers.
Alright, because when she was performing, she was channeling the spirits of other people as part of the performance. So what? She was at times channeling the personality and voice of her dead sister? Maybe?
Yes, rather innovative, isn't it? To channel spirits in an operatic performance. Emotions she never felt gleam in her eyes and glow from her mouth. And flow from her mouth, excuse me. She holds the spirits as they gently fall upon her, just as she is held by the stage.
Yes, that's right.
Yes, silly goose, my little sister was never an actress. She is but a stage upon a stage, a pretty glass vessel. A little hand softly touches your shoulder, and the other points into the darkness. Now look over there. A door? Why there's a door? How strange. Am I right? Did I guess what you were thinking?
The figure bursts into a delighted laughter.
We all know what a stage looks like. There are no walls, but there are doors. No, not the entrance doors to the theater. I'm talking about the doors behind the wings, the hidden ones that lead backstage.
The hand raps on the door.
This is the first door. A narrow doggy door, sitting an inch above the floor, painted in a calming blue. Who uses it, and I wonder? Could it be a border terrier? At a well-proportioned 6 kilograms? It would fit through the door perfectly. It would be rather pleasant to keep around. A little angel in the home, a loyal and energetic friend, whose little paws softly tap across the marble floor. But no, the door isn't made for a little Scottish hill dweller. Their feet get muddy, their fur dirty, and they have the pitiful little faces of a beggar. No, they don't fit in at all in this spotless home. Those who live here must be presentable and praiseworthy, with manners learned from the most esteemed of teachers. The terriers sprint past you as they chase one another, a flurry of wind rushing by your left calf. Something taller, heavier, and calmer emerges from the dark. A warm breath settles on the skin of your right calf. Ah, very good. A Leonberger. They were the stalwart friends of our honorable Sisi, the Empress of Austria. People were once madly in love with them. It has a soft black and a brown coat, a posture reminiscent of a lion, an intelligent mind, and a kind heart. Most importantly, this is an expensive breed. It's quite an excellent reflection of its owner's wealth and refined taste. It weighs 150 pounds.
How many is it in sensible units like kilograms?
A good boy with a sturdy build. It's 28 inches at withers and a trustworthy protector of your wife and children. The voice disappears again, along with a warm breath. The majestic dog raises its 100-pound body and dissolves into the shadows.
What a
But
pity.
But it's much too big to fit through this door. No, this can't be it. The girl lets out a regretful sigh, followed by a bracing breath. Her face is barely visible in the dark, but somehow you know she's smiling. You see, this is my door. I fit through it perfectly.
Huh? Huh?
It wasn't always exclusively mine. There were other people who were of the right size and met the other conditions for its use. But time is cruel. It turned Theophil and Isolde into adults, taking them out of their little 5-year-old bodies and replacing them with new ones with bigger hands and feet. Now I alone can pass through this little door.
So what? This is not Isolde? This is literally her sister? Was she almost exactly looking like her or what? I was convinced that this was just young Isolde, but maybe not.
Every Didansdorf child knows how to use this door. Just lower your head, bend down and crawl through it.
Yes.
Since
that's
I'm
right.
the only one using it these days, I have new name for it. The Door of Trista the Forgotten.
Right, so it is her. The lost sister, then. Gotcha. I have a habit of asking questions that get answered 2 sentences later.
The little hand lying on your shoulders gives a gentle push.
The docky door squeaks open. It is much easier to pass
Than you had imagined. Hush, my little baby, dry your tears. The cradle is safe and warm.
So this is Isolde's mother. Right. She's also very similar to Isolde. Similar eyes, same hair basically, just shorter. The face shape is also similar-ish.
Ah, Evangeline is here. The source of sweet humming. Oh, Mama. We all once lived inside her.
Okay, weird remark, but sure. Not untrue.
She always rocked this cradle with her left hand. It's the same one that Theophil and I and our little sister Isolde all used. She's singing her lullaby. But her performance is rather clumsy. It's a new song, a birth gift to Isolde from the playwright. He wrote one for each of us when we were born. She's asleep, thank goodness. She cries so much, always trembling as if something's frightened her.
Well, considering that her dead little sister is always beside her, he could be sensing that and be frightened by her. She is a medium after all. I wonder if Arcanists have the powers instantly from birth, or is it awakened in them later on? I don't think that this was mentioned yet, or at least I don't recall. I know that it's hereditary in the bloodline, but is it always active from birth, or what? The mother sighs as she sits by the bed.
Mother said I was the same when I was a baby. Perhaps it's a family trait passed down from girl to girl.
She thinks to herself, running her fingers along the edge of the cradle. As soon as the word curse comes to mind, she feels the tip of her fingers touch something. A dent in the wood left there by her second child. Huh?
No, that's not true.
No, Trista didn't like to cry. She giggled a lot, even looking at the empty ceiling of the lampstand.
So maybe she has seen ghosts as well, but she just reacted differently to them.
She was never frightened. Nothing could scare her. She'd cackle at anything, as if there were jesters and she the queen. She still remembered me, even then. She's a good mama.
Trista holds her mother from behind, nestling her head in the crook of her mother's neck.
She was immature in the past. She would have taken me to the seance and made me the medium had she known any better.
She wouldn't have taken me to the seance and made me the medium had she known any better. Right. So she inadvertently caused the death of her child, effectively, by taking her to the seance, and it went south somehow, and she died from that. Okay.
But she learned her lesson, truly. After my death, she never sang my lullaby again.
Kind of sad, honestly.
As I was lowered into my little grave, that song buried itself in her throat. But was that enough?
Trista reaches out an arm and gently strokes the cheek of the baby in the cradle. The cold chill of her hand wakes her.
It was only a song.
Right, and Isolde got scared by that. I guess she can feel the presence of spirits as well.
Oh, Isolde, you stupid little girl, always crying. My, she's shaking again. Her face is so cold.
So she was haunted by her sister from the very beginning. Interesting.
However you look at it, my failure laid the groundwork for Isolde's success.
What do you think?
Perhaps you don't think she's successful. But at least she didn't turn into a little lump of dead meat at the age of 3. For a Dita's daughter, that's quite an achievement.
Well, that's harsh.
I'm very fond of my little sister. I love her. I sang her the buried lullaby, my lullaby. I laid beside her on those crying nights and trembling mornings. I crawled with her and walked with her. Sometimes I think about how I could have grown up as she did. What a pity that I'm 6 feet under the earth while she walks upon it. She soon turned 3, but the seance didn't happen. As I have told you, my mother, my Evangeline, had learned her lesson. She knew better by then. She continued to put off my little sister's first seance for many years. She was 6 by the time she was led into the candlelight.
That's not late at all. That's also very early to play around with paranormal. So she was becoming a medium from the age of 6 already. Duly noted. This is... Tell us, child, what do you see? A candlelight flickers in the dark room. The lady asking the question leans forward in eagerness, the light reflected in her eyes. Right, Isolde looks exactly the same as her little sister, effectively. Interesting. Speak, good child. The spirit has come to us. It has come to you. Horrible people using a child as a tool for their own amusement. What's new? Second. Spilled on my drink. Got mad about it. I need an answer. I've waited so long for this, child. I've heard all about your gifts. She has waited 3 years, much too long for someone whose inside twists with anxiety over the future. Isolde takes a deep breath, letting it out slowly. Is she alright? She's shaking. Well, maybe comfort the child instead of asking her difficult questions. Evangeline never shook like this. She looks like her sister did. What has she called forth? What's happening? Does my future hold so dreadful spirits? I just wanted to know where I'd be in a few years. That doesn't sound promising. Good lord, she's bleeding. Isolde trembles, her back stiff, her hands tightly press against her chest, move down onto her stomach, and eventually stop at her lower abdomen. She whimpers in agony, her knees quiver until she can stand no longer and collapses to the floor. Help the child, maybe, instead of gasping there. Jesus Christ. The candlelight, it's flickering. She did it. And the MoMA is being useless as well. Right. I see. Her pale arm rides under her sleeve like a thin white snake. It lifts its head, its red tongue flicking forwards towards the lady. I see you. In a sea of green. Horses are neighing. Wind is blowing. The wind. Red drips from her nose and down onto her chest, bleeding into the whirls of dark colors on her dress. The air is filled with the metallic smell of blood. The wind is blowing and blowing, yes. It came in from the window. That's right, it's the wind, I see it now. It's the wind. It's the curtains. The curtains. Isolde abruptly lifts her upper body and starts rhythmically slapping her bloody palms against the floor. Huh?
Oh!
Oh!
Shoot!
Hell, what's that sound?
The windows are thrown open, and icy wind rushes into the room, immediately extinguishing the candles.
Wind? How? We locked the window.
Oh,
Something is wrong.
It's terrifying.
She's getting out of control. Isolde.
Everyone leaps to their feet, scrambling to reach the door. Amidst the chaos, the young girl stands up.
Isolde, stay calm. Isolde.
To her, the calls of her mother sounds like echoes from a faraway place. Isolde simply drops her head and gently nibbles at her nails. And every adult in the room is after their own safety and not comforting the child in any way, shape or form. Very classy. Nobles indeed.
Close the window.
She mumbles, her bloody lips opening and closing gently. Then they open wide. She cackles with delight before screaming in a voice that is not entirely her own.
Close the window. Close the window. Close the window.
Well, that's not a little girl, that's for sure.
After that, my little sister passed out. Her first seance ended in disarray. People were scared. They didn't believe her to be a capable medium. But you would have thought the same had you seen her blood-splattered gown. The successive failures of me and my sister completely shattered the curiosity over these seances. People started to believe that our ability to channel the spirits had become too strong to control, and that the practice was somewhat evil.
Well, I would think so. Honestly, that's basically torturing children. Effectively.
For some time, the people of Vienna lost all interest in the seances.
Good.
And consequently, Mama was snapped. But this didn't last long.
The girl offers a gentle smile as she tucks her curly hair behind her ear.
Annette Meyer, who spent the rest of her life afraid of the color green because of the prophecy brought forth through my sister, met her end. She died on the street. A frightened horse charged toward her. It was wearing a green saddle blanket on its back and a shining green gem on its forehead. Green, more green. Miss Meyer was utterly terrified. She screamed, and as she dove to the side to dodge the approaching horse, she stumbled over a step and fell into a roadside bush. A sharp branch pierced her chest.
Huh? How sharp was that branch? Pierce a woman completely. I get scrapes and bruises, but piercing the chest? That had to be an unfortunate fall, to say the least. She draws a small circle on her chest, marking the location of the wound.
Eerie, isn't it? All of Vienna was wholly convinced the prophecy was true. Once again, they gathered around Mama and my little sister, like ants reporting to the queen. Oh, of course, little Isolde lived. She was depleted by that seance, never having had a strong constitution and having lost so much blood during the ceremony. But slowly her health was restored. That was a risky night, but accidents are common in their canon. The slightest of changes can lead to completely different results. If my little sister were a little younger, or if she were pushed a little harder, she would seen what I saw. Hundreds of soldiers lying dead on the battlefield. Children orphaned before their very eyes. The endless explosions and those golden rabbits.
So, she died from the vision of the Great War? From what I recall, Isolde was later haunted by those visions as well when she was older.
I was this close to having a little sister who's just like me.
Well, that's grim. Also not very nice of you. That was a very long part 1, honestly. Also, I just noticed that there is a survey stage for Isolde. we could do this. What kind of theme did they give Isolde? I'm curious to see. Isolde? Wait, can I change it? So I can assign whoever I want with Isolde as the permanent unit. They didn't give her a complete team to showcase? Interesting. Who could I give her? Spatodia maybe? As an assistant?
Ready?
Anan Lee works as help, and this is a good sustain, so why not? True, that works. Can I use my Isolde instead of a support? Yes, I can. No, I can't. Okay, I stand corrected. Is this Isolde with Euphoria? No, without it. Interesting.
You'll always feel at ease in my room, no matter the time.
That's a shame.
Woman! Get moving!
If there are a total of 10 or more stacks of burn on all enemies, inflict additional 3 stacks of burn on the enemy target after attacking. Right. We know this mechanic.
Easy lah. It is here.
It's a shame that there is no Euphoria on Isolde in this scenario.
Nice tactic. Anyone feeling cold?
Right, now we can drop some punches.
That's right. Nice tactic. Copy that.
Why not, like this?
That hurts, huh? Seeing stars. Cricket.
Nice damage.
Fireworks.
Even weak impromptu is strong as hell in regular stages. Let's re-roll, shall we?
I
Go
can
like
hear it.
this,
That's
like
right.
this,
Nice
and like that.
tactic.
Mon officier n'est pas un capitaine.
Like a lighter. Hey!
Nice! 23,000 from a direct hit is quite nice. Honestly, this was more of a showcase of Spatodia than Isolde herself, without her Euphoria unlocked. Do I want to go through all of them right now, or should I focus on the story? Let's go back to the story. We can go back to the fights later on, maybe, at the end. 100 spoons. Interesting name. Dietersdorf. A different family member then? Glad to have you here, old friend. Dietersdorf gets to his feet and extends a welcoming hand. This is the beginning of an amicable conversation. His friend strides up to him and shakes his hand. Truth be told, I've considered many people for the job, many, but none suits this position better than you. You are being modest, my friend. I had thought about getting her a governess. Governess
Yes.
may well raise ordinary ladies, but my little girl is anything but. I'll settle for nothing but the very best for her. So I'm guessing this is father of Isolde.
Isolde, my child.
That was a weird voice. Is she channeling spirits again? She must be virtuous, pure of thought, elegant and compliant. She must be clever but guileless, talented yet modest, and dignified without pretension. Then she will be truly a noble lady. Heh. Parents always have grand expectations for their children, don't they? The child places a finger horizontally below her nose, mimicking a mustache as she speaks. I'm a decent gentleman with impeccable manners. I never attend an event to which I'm not invited.
Oh.
I have a warm smile, a kind heart, and I never push others away. I have strong morals, respect social etiquette, and always present the best side of myself to others, when it's necessary. Didasdorf regards me as a true noble gentleman. He always believes I possess every quality an honorable man should have. The man maintains an upright posture, clasping his hands behind his back, his shoulders perfectly squared. That's why, despite my eagerness to attend and the fact that I'm a family friend, I've never asked for nor even hinted at wanting an invitation to that banquet. Huh. So, who is it speaking right now? The father or the family friend? From that, I'm guessing the family friend. I know that asking is pointless. I must be patient. When the time comes, the gate will be open to me. The Didasdorf's house is guarded by an enormous gate. It's beautiful and stately, made of metal and artistically decorated with the family's motifs. It's quite a feat, really finding the balance between the beauty and security. And my friend Didasdorf has found the balance. His only lacking feature, of which he is fully aware, is the patience to educate a child. He worries, you see, about a future in which his son is incompetent and chaotic and his daughter is crude and reckless. So he's pinned his hopes on me. The countenance of a middle-aged man faintly emerges on the girl's face. She licks her teeth, an unconscious display of greed. Huh? So is this Isolde channeling another person? Two figures in dresses emerge from the darkness and approach the gate. With a heavy rumble, it slides open.
Oh.
Oh my, we've been talking all this time, yet we haven't so much unmentioned Isolde. She reaches out a hand and seizes your wrist. A gentle yet irresistible force leads you forward. She should have been at the center of this conversation, so sweet and gentle. A truly thoughtful and beautiful girl. She doesn't look back.
Isolde, my child.
I've treated her as my own. I taught her everything I knew, and she became that perfect young lady Didasdorf desired. She was flawless. She met every expectation. From her mother, her father, her brother, the servants, and of course, me. A weird scene.
Mind your posture, child.
Isn't this the director of that foundation office that we meet during the chapter itself? I don't remember what his name was. I guess they will say it at some point, I'm guessing.
Yes, I understand.
Ah, Mr. Carl, right. Again, I'm asking questions that are being answered immediately in the next scene.
Yes, Mr. Carl.
Little Isolde's body tenses. She straightens her back further. Very well. Now lift your chin a little. Not too high. We must avoid any indication of overconfidence.
Exactly.
That's right. Just like that. Very well done, my child. He lays his hands on the back on the chair in front of him and nods to his student on the other side of the hallway. Alright, now maintain the posture and walk to me.
Certainly.
Yes,
I will try
Mr. Carl.
harder.
It is rather premature for a girl of only 12 to learn to walk in a 3-inch heels. Yeah, that's weird. But practicing now will avoid any future embarrassment.
Head up, shoulders square. Alright. Now smooth strides. Don't sway and don't bounce up and down.
Breathe in, step forward, waist balanced, and again.
Don't lean forward. Straighten your back. Knees steady.
No mistakes, don't make any mistakes. She stops before the chair, awaiting her teacher's feedback. 6 years have passed. She shot up since her first seance. Her dice of reaching up for door handles are long gone. She stands there, a living example of perfection, all thanks to her education.
Isolde, my child.
Excellent, Isolde. Your walk is almost perfect now. The gentleman smiles and pulls out the chair. Have a seat. Let's move to our next subject. Time is against us, young lady. We spent an extra 15 minutes working on your posture. I've been told that you'll have a vocal lesson later. Don't worry. I shall see you again for a literature class after its completion. I don't know why I stumbled so much on that word. Literature. Right. Tonight we'll be reading about a dinner. There will be mention of the dining etiquette we've practiced before, so this is a good chance for you to review it.
Danke.
Certainly, Mr. Carl.
The girl gracefully sits down. A maid hurries over and helps her adjust the chair. A bowl of vegetable soup is sitting before her.
My apologies.
May I ask a question, sir? If I remember correctly, you told me that we had completed the rules of dining etiquette last week. Did I misunderstand?
Her eyes are huge as a child. Honestly, it's so striking in this image when she's surprised. You did not, my child. She kinda reminds me of my cats when they are surprised or startled. The gentleman picks up a silver spoon and places it in her open palm. One by one, he adjusts her fingers until they close around the spoon handle.
I disagree.
But last night, during dinner with your parents, I couldn't help but notice that your hands were shaking. The movements were subtle, almost imperceptible most of the time. You even hid them well while you cooked the meat. When it came to the soup, however, the shaking was clear as daylight. People will certainly notice your wetted cuffs. With a smile on his face, Carl loosens his grip. Little Isolde needs no further instruction. Her countenance is composed, yet her hand is trembling. Her fingertips turn pale as she tightens her grip on the spoon. Is this stress or some kind of a condition?
Oh.
There are health conditions that can do that. Early onset Parkinson's or something like that? Maybe. Or some other neurological issue. Of course, such a mistake wouldn't be considered rude, but it would reflect badly on your education. We've put in great effort and come so far. It would be a great shame to fall short on so small a detail.
Yes, I understand.
Yes, Master Cole. I'll work hard on it. "100 times. The gentleman paces around the lounge, feeling utterly complacent about his work. I asked her to practice it 100 times. She's the daughter of Evangeline, the greatest opera singer to ever grace the stages of Vienna. She has her eyes, her nose, her cheeks. How could she possibly have such a shaky hand while using a spoon? Well, have you thought that maybe this is a medical condition? Maybe she needs medical help. There's a thought.
I disagree.
What a disgrace. You're a disgrace, my dude. He shakes his head, his dark hair on the back of his head shining with vitality. I could tell she was getting tired towards the end of the session. She'd hidden it well thus far, just as she'd been instructed to do. She's only 12 after all, and she went straight from a 3-hour poise and posture class to repeatedly raising and lowering the spoon for an hour more. This is basically torture, honestly. But she carried on, just as I expected her to. She had a smile on her face, her voice remained soft. Her eyes were gentle as a spring breeze. She's a darling little lamb.
Exactly.
All our efforts paid off. He stops by the window, his gaze fixed upon the garden lawns. Evangeline sits in the sunshine, a white rabbit in her arms. She's stroking and gently grooming its hair. Her wrists were still tight and shaky the first 20 times we practiced. It wasn't until the 65th attempt that things started to improve. Perhaps she was too tired to shake, perhaps her joints were numb, or perhaps she finally mastered the skill and calmed herself. By the 100th practice, the soup in her spoon was still a mirror. I could see the reflection of my face within it. Carl's eyes flicker back to the table. The soup is now cold and thick. The chair is pulled out, and Isolde is nowhere to be found. So you didn't even let her actually eat the soup? God damn, my dude.
Oh.
I still have no idea why she was trembling so much. Maybe there's an issue with the muscles in her hand, or maybe it's an unfortunate side effect of her inherent ability. But I'm certain that she'll be rid of this unsightly habit within a week. Will she now? She will become Evangeline, only better. Have you maybe thought of letting her become Isolde first? Like, be herself for a change?
Interesting.
This, you see, is the benefit of a proper education. If only I could travel back in time and give poor Evangeline the same opportunities.
So you mean...
You seem surprised. Why? I adore Evangeline. I will forever be her loyal audience member and supportive friend. But that doesn't mean that I'm blind to her flaws. She's mad, unstable. She spends half the day unconscious and the other half, God bless, in hysteria. Even inconvenience? She's a pitiful woman, indeed, worthy of little admiration. Huh.
Exactly.
Yes, she's the center of the crowd, yes, important figure, attend her seances and listen to her piously. And yes, throngs of people cheer and throw flowers at her on stage, some even fainting from the excitement.
I disagree.
But none of this speaks to who she truly is, my dear friend. He shrugs. The cold soup morphs into a slice of chocolate cake as he sits down at the table. You must be familiar with the Shattertotal, 2 pieces of chocolate cake with a layer of apricot jam in the middle. It's the sweet embodiment of perfection. Why are they using the image of Isolde every time Carl speaks? I don't understand, honestly. With a silver fork in one hand, he flips the piece of cake on its side, revealing a moldy corner. Evangeline is just like this cake. Most of her is sweet, her voice, her divination, but there's a rot growing that will one day devour her.
Oh.
It's still a little early to throw the cake away, but that would be a shame. At least most of it still looks fine. He cuts through the cake with his fork, precisely avoiding the molding edge. Huh. We can still enjoy the good part of the cake, as long as we are careful about where the dessert fork lands. Didarsdorf did marry her, after all. But it's somewhat troublesome process. The people's appetite for Shattertotals will never wane. And as one cake sours, they will look for another. Poor Evangeline simply cannot satisfy their desires any longer. They need something fresh, delicious, sweet. Can you word this any more sus? He savors the cake, a smile growing on his face. Isolde is that new confectionery, freshly out of the oven and waiting to be served. Can you please rephrase that? Well, that was horrible. Thank you very much for that image. Okay, we still have time for 2 more parts, I think. Blissful Decadence. Check something on the stream quickly, 1 moment. Okay, everything is looking fine, I think. Alright. Isolde quietly closes the door and sits on the side of her bed. She falls back and stares at the ceiling. Her body aches, her hands and feet feel like lead, and lead, and her eyes are swollen from fatigue. Her headache worsens at night, so she rarely sleeps well. Right, and they are worsening her condition with those long sessions. The cotton pads didn't help.
The heels still wrap my feet. The vocals lesson's over, and my literature class is cancelled because Mr. Carl was invited to a banquet. Looks like I can rest early today. Wonderful. She turns her head to the side, and her eyes meet another's. A young girl lies beside her, with features that resemble her own. Interesting. So she's probably seeing her sister's ghost. Their foreheads press against each other. The girl's eyes are hollow, only filled with golden tears. Her lips open and close as she mutters a question, one that has been asked many times before. So she doesn't perceive that sister completely? Just the visual of it? No, sister, I won't. Or maybe she understands it. Isolde trembles from the cold, just as she did as a frightened baby in her cradle. The girl giggles, curling her arms around Isolde's neck and clutching at her like a vine wrapped around a tree. Why? Is she trying to strangle her or what? Her little body swells, becoming cold and heavy like a piece of iron. Here she goes again with her usual games. Whenever Isolde is tired and weary, Trista seeks her out to play like this. Huh. Okay. So she's being tormented by the ghost of her dead sister? Amazing. So not only she's being tortured by Mr. Carl and his lessons, but also she's being tormented by her sister. No wonder she's so fucked up, honestly. I would be surprised if she was normal after all this. Please, sister, you're hurting me. Isolde's breathing becomes short and violent. She can feel her insides being squeezed. Tears flood her eyes, her face swollen and wet as she silently weeps. Only in moments like this does she let out her true emotions. The pressure makes her nauseous. Trista giggles, her laughter lingering in the room. More and more spirits start to gather. They whisper to each other, laughing and teasing Isolde, cautiously awaiting her next move. Isolde manages to grab the back of one of her sister's hands with her trembling fingers. Please, Mama. Mama asked for me. I promised her. The girl straddling her waist gives her a slow blink. She lets go of Isolde's hands and dissipates into thin air. This always works. They are both, or at least were once, their mother's closest supporters. Isolde climbs out of the bed, wiping the tears and specks of vomit from her cheeks. With corner of her bed sheet, she mumbles, Mama. So she can banish her sister's ghost by mentioning their mother? Because they both love her and despite everything? Interesting. Mama. Her mother looks up from the two rabbits cradled in her arms, one white, other yellow, and her pale face radiates a smile. A yellow rabbit? Is this a Pikachu? Did he get a Pokemon? The hell? Did the mama give her trauma or something?
Oh my dude, this is so much more complicated. I don't know how much of it you saw since the start of the stream, but there is a tangle of trauma to untangle for your little Isolde. There is little wonder why she was so fucked up in the chapter 6 that we had with her. Honestly, it would be more weird if she was normal after all this. In short, she was being tortured by her family and her tutor to be the second coming of her mother, being taught to be a perfect little lady at all costs. She was being haunted by different spirits, including her dead little sister's spirit that tried to kill her at times. And also she had other medical problems, it seems. On top of that, they were trying to just discipline out of her instead of helping her in any manner. So yeah, this is a whole collection of trauma in a bag. Sounds like a B-movie plot. Honestly, this is basically how to say it in English? A psychological horror, effectively.
Isolde, my sweet girl, come.
Listen, child.
See, I have apple strudel and bloom here. Oh, and the nightingale your father just brought. I was hoping to take the swan in here too. But it was swimming on the lake, so we couldn't get close to it.
Oh, also her mother is basically half crazed as well. So there's that. So she was of no help absolutely to her daughter. It's more like her daughter was helping her mother to stay sane. As much as she could, at least. So yeah, just as I was stating before, Isolde is the most tragic character in this entire game so far. At least to me. This mother is sometimes more of a child than her own daughter. Yeah, exactly. She's cheerful and innocent, simply as a blank canvas. She's always a pleasure to spend time with. Is it now? Is she now? Isolde closes her eyes, erasing her sister's decayed face and vomit-stained sheet from her mind.
We can meet in the garden, Mama. You don't have to bring them all inside.
But one thing is for sure, she's cute as a button as a child.
Nonsense, I'm happy to do this for you.
Noticing now the dress? What about the dress?
I think
You always get dizzy under the sun. How can you attend your lessons if you are unwell?
Kinda looks like a grown-up dress on a child, so it fits what you described? Yes. They were basically using her as a tool slash... I don't know how to express it properly. A family treasure to be presented in public since she was 6. And this was them holding back after her sister died from from similar treatment at the age of 3. So she got the, how to say it, more reserved treatment despite everything, and it's still horrible and awful. The character designers in this visual novel game are perfectionists to a clinical level, yes. There is no incidental elements at all, honestly.
You always get dizzy under the sun. How can you attend your lessons if you are unwell? The lounge is much better. We can enjoy a bit of sunshine through the windows and listen to the music. Her mother pats the cushion next to her. Isolde sits on it, taking Apple Strudel, the pale yellow rabbit, into her arms.
Huh?
Hello, little Apple Strudel. How are you feeling?
So that's the rabbit's name? Interesting. I suggest you look up how it's pronounced. How is it pronounced? Let me check. Huh? Apfelstrudel? Something like that? Apfelstrudel. Fair enough. I'll probably mispronounce it again, knowing me. Apfelstrudel. Okay. German was never my strong suit, let's be honest. Apfelstrudel. German pronunciation is completely beyond me. I had like 3 years of German in school and I learned basically nothing from it. Or at least I remember nothing of it.
Hello, little Apfelstrudel. How you are feeling? You are so fluffy and soft, like the cooked apple in a real strudel. She holds the rabbit, stroking its fur and looking into its eyes. Next time you can at least order breakfast in a coffee shop in German. If I ever have to use German in real life, that means that I'm either in Germany or in a German adjacent country, and I should be escaping from Germany. I have bigger problems than other than ordering apple strudel. She holds the rabbit, stroking its fur, looking into its eyes.
Lovely little ones.
She has the softest fur. Such an adorable coloring.
How the hell did they get a yellow rabbit? Did they paint it?
Do you remember when your father first brought them home? You were 11, a bit shorter than you are now. And it wasn't long after you started your vocal lessons.
My guess is a mistranslation. But then why would they compare it to an apple filling? Or indeed Pokemon reference? Right. Well, to be fair, in this world they have the arcane creatures that are animals but not. They are animal adjacent, but they look wholly different. So maybe it's an arcane creature looking like a rabbit? Pies are kind of cream brown colored, so it is yellowish. I mean, it could be a very light brown. There are brown rabbits, so maybe it's just very bright brown then.
Yes, I
Of
understand.
course, Mama. Apple and Bloom are the only rabbits who've joined the family. We had plenty of birds and ponies before, as well as white rabbits for use in the seances, but none of them ever had a name. It wasn't until the doctor recommended a new method of therapy that Father brought these two home, and we named them.
Of course.
Yes, it was fun. With these adorable little things around, I don't faint as often as I used to. You were so small back then. I can scarcely believe that that little girl is the same person as the 15-year-old young lady sitting before me. And for her to be so beautiful and beautiful a singer too. So now we are in the timeline of Isolde being 15 years old already. Okay. The sun shines through the window, enveloping Evangeline with a peaceful smile on her face. She continues to stroke the rabbit in her arms.
Mama.
She doesn't look 15 in this image, but I guess they didn't want to make another model. They are just using the little Isolde for this.
Do you not wish to go back on stage? Singing used to be so important to you. No. She maintains the smile on her face.
No, that's not
You're
true.
mistaken, my child. I never really loved performing. It was just an ordinary part of my life. Besides, they were making me emotional, which worsened my condition. I shouldn't be performing anymore. It's no good for me. But I'll be fine. As the doctor said, caring for animals brings me peace. Keeping a calm atmosphere is the foremost goal of this treatment. Isolde, my child, we must carry on.
It's very glaring how she focuses all her maternal instincts on animals instead of taking care of her daughter that needs her the most. Honestly, she could be taking care of her daughter that is suffering, but she's blind to it. Instead, she's pouring her emotions and her care into rabbits. Truly goddamn tragic to watch. Beneath her mother's hopeful gaze, Isolde lowers her head and meekly snuggles up to her. And Isolde is completely hungry for her attention, that's glaringly obvious.
Certainly.
Yes,
I will try
Mama,
harder.
we must carry on.
Of course.
Things will be different for you, Isolde. You're luckier than I. You've received treatment for much earlier in life. And times are better now. There's more than one way to improve your situation.
Ah, yes, the treatments. Like electroshocks that she was getting later on. Truly wonderful times to be alive.
You'll be cured, and you'll have the talent to sing.
Her mother's voice seemed to come from above her head. For no clear reason, Isolde feels as though she's speaking from somewhere even higher.
Keep in mind.
You will become the star of Vienna. You must keep on. Yes, Mama, I'll continue with the treatment. I'll keep on singing. Huh?
Apple Strudel has started to nibble on her young master's gloves.
Apostolda, are you hungry? How could she be? The maids have already fed them today. No, you're confused again, Mama. In March, the doctor suggested that you start feeding them. He said it would help you bond with them. Is that so? Oh yes, I remember.
Isolde puts down the rabbit and cups her mother's face. Gently pushes her hair aside and softly presses her forehead against her mother's. Honestly, in this arrangement, it's more like it's Isolde taking care of her mother at the age of 15, which is completely tragic.
Don't worry, Mama. We all forget things sometimes. Leave it to me. I'll get them something to eat.
She gets to her feet and makes her way to the other room, but before she leaves, she stops by the door and looks back.
Mama, have the rabbits recovered? I noticed they were a little out of spirits earlier.
Sadly, it's not an uncommon occurrence in the real world. Correct. And it's tragic every time it happens.
My apologies.
If they are still unwell, I'll go get some medicine too. Were they really?
Evangeline raises the rabbits in her hands so their faces are level with hers. Then their noses are wet and their eyes are clear. They look as healthy as any rabbit as she has seen. A few nameless white rabbits are chasing each other around her feet, each looking as energetic as ever.
That's right.
They seem fine to me. Alright, Mama. I'll be back shortly.
Out of the lounge on and through the hall, past the many doorways, down the stairs, and finally to a small room with the two maids walking inside. The Ditastov house is well known for its staggering size.
Look at this.
Sheets, and more sheets. I ain't gone single day without washing these bloody things.
Listen.
When I worked for the mayors, we only had 1 or 2 washing days a week. But you're paid better here, ain't ya? Quit your complaining and come help, eh?
What's wrong?
My God, there's blood on the sheets again. How on earth is there so much of it? Even for the time of the month, this is a lot.
Right, I'm guessing this is all because of Isolde's condition.
There's no way this is blood from her time of the month. The red-haired maid crinkles up her nose in disgust. There's been blood on the sheets once a week for the past 3 weeks now.
So maybe become concerned about that? Maybe tell this to the medical professionals of some sort?
I'd say it comes from those dead rabbits and birds.
I see.
Lucas threw them away, another load of dead animals yesterday. I saw birds, ponies, but mostly rabbits, the yellow and white ones.
Guess illness didn't exist back then, good old times? Yeah, when you ignore the illnesses and attribute them to bad humors and whatever else the hell they were called, but back then they didn't exist. Out of sight, out of mind, as they say.
Which means?
I've lost count of the number of upper studers and blooms we've had. They got 2 new ones just today.
Right, so the named rabbits are dying constantly as well.
Poor things. What happened to them? They didn't die nearly so often last year. Is there something wrong with the fodder? No, it weren't because of the bloody fodder. If it weren't any natural causes of death.
As the maid soaks the sheet in the water, she lowers her voice.
I heard that.
Lucas told me that every one of the animals suffered a miserable death. Some vomited blood, others had their heads cracked open. Most strange of all is that few of them had holes in their neck with a golden key jammed inside.
I beg your pardon? Were they being used to some arcane rituals or what?
It might be...
He said Lady Evangeline did it.
Right, because there were rumors about Isolde's mother, that she was becoming crazier and crazier down the line. So maybe it was her doing after all.
Oh, come off it. Lady Evangeline loves those animals. She's always carrying those rabbits around in her arms. Well, you didn't see her crush that poor Nightingale with her bare hands when she was having an episode.
Well, there we go.
She's ill. So is Lady Isolde. It runs in the family like a curse. The doctor said it was hysteria. Something to do with the wandering wombs. It drives them mad and makes them bleed at all.
Right, the lovely medical knowledge of the early, what, 19th century, 18th century, something like that? I think it's 19th century, if I remember correctly.
Look at this.
Which explains these bloody stains. Do you think Lady Isolde will one day lose her mind like her mother?
Well, unfortunately, we know the answer to that, and the answer is kind of.
Why do you care? She's been awfully kind to me. She helped me settle in.
The maid with short dark hair looks down at the dirty bed sheet in her hands. It is covered in vomit and sweat.
Here is the case.
She's still young, but she is already such a perfect little lady. Gentle, polite, beautiful, kind.
Wasn't there a theory back then? There were several, and they were all basically mad ramblings from the doctors back then, based on principles that made zero sense. Wasn't there a theory back then about real relationship between menstruation and mental illnesses? Yes, there were several theories like that, and they were all cuckoo bananas.
She's got so many lessons to attend, bless her. Etiquette, literature, history, painting, music, dance. And on top of that, she has to go to the seances with her mother twice a month.
Yeah, no wonder she's becoming insane from all that. Honestly, who wouldn't be?
Poor girl.
She slowly folds up the bed sheets as if to save Isolde the embarrassment.
She don't faint often, and she ain't having any manic episodes like her mother does now, but she does vomit and feel dizzy at times. Oh, I do hope she don't end up like her mother.
Now we know that low or the complete lack of certain vitamins, components and such can change a person for the worst. Not only that, but in general the chemical imbalance in the body leads to the imbalance in the nervous system, which leads to the manic episodes and what's not. So it's caused by neurological issues, lack of certain elements in the diet, inborn issues from genetical defects. It's a whole bevy of reasons, honestly. There's no single reason behind neurological issues, usually. Oftentimes it's a whole collection of reasons for them.
Yes, enough of the worrying. It's none of your of our concern. You've done you done with the sheets? Come on then. Apparently, even a simple infection can bring out dementia symptoms in older patients. Yes and no. If the infection affects the nervous system directly, then yes, to an extent. But the relation between things like that is usually overstated. I'm talking about a bladder infection? I don't think so. I don't recall that being a thing, honestly. It sounds even silly. That it does. Doesn't sound like a real thing. But I've read and had experiences for nurses. See, nurses may be medical professionals, but they are not doctors. And oftentimes they cling to their experiences more than medically proven diagnosis. So I wouldn't hold their word to a perfect truth level, honestly. So I guess a tiny bit of truth can be in those rumors, and of course they are not specialists. Yes, so I would take those reports with a grain of salt, personally. Nurses are not immune to developing, how to say it, biases and I'm blanking on the correct word in English. Myths. Myths about medical issues. Right. Yes, now I remember. I left it in this drawer. Ah, yes, there it is. She fumbles in the dark until her fingers come across a familiar shape. She looks at her palm, then into the dimly lit corridor. The maids are long gone by now, but the conversation still lingers in her ears. Father once told me. She shuts her eyes in calm determination. Be graceful, be self-restrained, and be kind to others. Be compassionate, especially towards the less privileged. We must be an example of our people.
Oh, yes.
We must be virtuous, dignified, and benefits our status. You know what they have in common, nurses and doctors? They are both human. Right. And they are prone to being wrong because of that. Theophil, I didn't know you were home today. She opens her eyes. Her brother, 2 years her senior, is standing next to her. I won't be staying long. Mother told me you were here, so I came. So wait, if Theophil is 2 years older, then it means that her sister was the oldest of them. She had to come first, then a year later Theophil was born, and 2 years later Isolde was born. Right.
Isolde!
It's been a while. I brought you this. He pulls a little velvet box and a pocket watch from his jacket pocket. The box is from Heinrich. There's a brooch inside for your 15th birthday. And this watch? That's from me. But you already gave me a present on my birthday, Theophil. No, it's not for your birthday. I just want you to have it. Look, it's not just a watch. It has a timer. And here. He presses the little knob on the pocket watch, and with a quiet click, it flips open. See? It's a white crystal. It works like an amulet to help you stay calm. And here, see the slot? It can hold even enough smelling salts for 20 uses. You'd need a watch to keep track of time in all those lessons, and the amulets and smelling salts will help you too. It's perfect. He presses the watch into her sister's hand. There is a beat of silence, and he speaks again. I also have news for you. I'm renting a studio. It's amazing how much it helped me gain inspiration. It also has space for the young models to stay the night when the weather becomes dreadful. It simply broke my heart to see them walking all the way back home in the rain. Move, my dear boy. So all is well with me, but I won't be returning home for very frequently. I hope you will continue your treatment along with Mother. Remember, I'm thinking of you all the time. And you are my beloved little sister after all. Did Father agree to this?
Oh, yes.
Of course, you can ask him if you like. And he even helped me pick the studio. He turns around and waves to the father, a bright, beautiful smile on his face. For a moment, he looks like the herald of spring. I see. Then I'm relieved. I only wish the best for you, Theophil. The spring's favored sun leaves as briskly as the wind. He crosses the lounge and passes through the door and goes out into the boundless world. Didasdos stands next to his daughter. A hand on her shoulder, he shakes his head. I have a blundering artist for a son. A wild spirit, look at him. Who'd think that he's almost 17? You are nothing like him, for which I'm very grateful. You spend your days perfecting yourself, while he wastes time chasing after those models in his... What I'm trying to say is that you are a comfort to me, child.
Danke.
Thank you, Father. How generous of you to say such a nice thing about me. She smiles with an adorable shyness and looks down at the floor, as most young daughters would after making their father proud. But her eyes flicker towards the door. With Theophil gone, it is shut again. Only a thin beam of light shines through the gap. Theophil didn't inherit Mother's musical talents. He doesn't even sing. Mother passed the talent down to me instead of her firstborn son. I suppose it's unfair to him. Under her father's silent gaze, Isolde turns and makes her way to the other end. To the other end of the house, right. That's another part done. We are almost on time to finish up. I guess I could make some more... go through some server stages because this is fast. Because we don't have time for another part of the story. So I can go to this, for example. And we'll wrap up for today afterwards. I think.
Easy lah. It is here.
No worries.
There we go.
Tu peux la jeter maintenant, la charme d'opère.
Please, don't resist.
That was fast.
They are much naughtier than the Foundation's kids.
Okay, we can do another one, I guess.
Ah, 翻工啦！ Easy
Buff,
啦
debuff, and a strike. There
Relax.
we go.
Please, don't resist.
Nice.
梗係我捉你，唔係你捉我。
There we go. And we'll be able to finish all of it in one go, I think.
Dental checker.
Copy that.
It is here. No worries.
Go.
唔該晒，Lily。
Tu peux la jeter maintenant, la charme d'opère. Please, don't resist.
Dead. Dead. And dead. Impromptu is OP. Oh, a boss fight. Okay. So,
I can hear it.
we'll go like
Easy 啦。
this.
Relax. It is here.
Sure, that will work.
Breathe.
Mon officier n'est pas un capitaine.
Stop.
Wow, they survived this. Surprising. Okay.
I can hear it. It is here.
Right, I can upgrade this.
I can hear it. It is here. It will
This will
all be
work.
fine.
Copy that.
There we go.
Oh, this talents.
Please, don't resist.
Thunder to me.
Surprisingly, a lot of health. Huh. They're still surviving, surprising. I actually had to use some effort in this.
What a tragedy. We need some peaceful moments. No worries.
Okay, let's drop a nuke.
Relax.
Soffoca il sangue. Ti soffoca il sangue.
And it was enough.
梗係我捉你，唔係你捉我。
And that's it. Alrighty then. I'll do the hard mode on my own, off stream, I guess. For now, this will be it. So, thank you for watching, if you did. We'll be continuing this story on next Monday, next week. So, if you missed anything from the stream, I recommend going to my YouTube channel, which is linked in the description in Twitch, the description. Or you can use the exclamation YouTube command in chat to get the link directly. And the upcoming schedule for the next week will be available on my Discord server. Also linked in the description for both YouTube and Twitch. And you can use the exclamation Discord command to get the link directly. I'll be taking my hour break right now, so we'll be back around 8 PM GMT+1. an hour from now. And we'll be continuing the playthrough of Cyberpunk 2077. So I encourage you to join me on that in an hour. Anyway, again, thank you for watching and see you again in an hour. Ciao!